10 Reasons Why Poland Hates Muslim Immigrants. Europe has been at the center of immigration debates for decades. Countries like Germany, France, and the United Kingdom have embraced multiculturalism, welcoming millions of immigrants from across the globe. Yet, one nation stands out for its resistance: Poland. Unlike its Western neighbors, Poland has consistently opposed large-scale Muslim immigration, sparking controversy across the European Union. Why does Poland take such a hard stance? What historical, cultural, and political forces drive this resistance? In Western Europe, immigration reshaped cities, economies, and cultures. London, Paris, and Berlin became melting pots of diversity. Poland, however, remains strikingly homogeneous. While Western Europe debates integration, Poland debates whether immigration should happen at all. This sharp contrast raises questions. Is Poland protecting its identity, or is it isolating itself from global realities? In this documentary-style deep dive, we'll explore 10 reasons why Poland resists Muslim immigration. From centuries of historical homogeneity to modern political narratives, from Catholic traditions to EU refugee quotas, each factor reveals a piece of the puzzle. By the end, you'll understand not only Poland's resistance, but also what it means for Europe's future. Chapter 1. Historical homogeneity. To understand Poland's resistance to Muslim immigration, we must first look at its history. Unlike Western Europe, Poland never experienced large waves of immigration from Africa, Asia, or the Middle East. For centuries, Poland remained overwhelmingly Polish and Catholic, with only small minority groups such as Jews, Ukrainians, and Lithuanians. This historical homogeneity shaped national identity in profound ways. Centuries of uniformity. Poland's borders shifted dramatically over the centuries, but its population remained relatively uniform. After World War II, millions of Germans were expelled, and Poland's territory was redrawn. The result was one of the most ethnically homogeneous nations in Europe. Unlike France, which welcomed Algerians, or Britain, which saw migration from India and Pakistan, Poland had little exposure to Muslim communities. Limited exposure. This lack of exposure matters. In countries like Germany, citizens interact daily with immigrants, building familiarity and sometimes tension. In Poland, many people have never met a Muslim immigrant. As a result, perceptions are shaped more by media and politics than by lived experience. Fear of the unknown often becomes stronger than reality. Historical memory. Poland's history of invasions also plays a role. From Mongol raids in the Middle Ages to Ottoman conflicts, Poland remembers itself as a defender of Christianity against Muslim powers. The famous Battle of Vienna in 1683, where Polish King Jan Sobieski helped defeat the Ottoman Empire, is still celebrated as a symbol of Poland protecting Europe. These historical memories reinforce the idea that Poland must guard its identity. Modern impact. Today, this homogeneity creates a baseline of resistance. Immigration is seen not as an extension of Poland's history but as a disruption to it. For many Poles, the idea of welcoming large numbers of Muslim immigrants feels alien, even threatening, because it challenges centuries of cultural continuity. Mini summary. So, Poland's resistance begins with history. Centuries of ethnic and religious uniformity, limited exposure to immigrants, and memories of past conflicts all combine to create a national mindset wary of change. This foundation sets the stage for the cultural and political debates we'll explore in the next chapters. Chapter 2. National Identity and Catholicism. To understand Poland's resistance to Muslim immigration, we must look at the role of religion in shaping national identity. Poland is not just a country with a Catholic majority. It is a nation where Catholicism is woven into the very fabric of society. From politics to culture, from family traditions to national holidays, Catholicism defines what it means to be Polish. Catholicism as a cultural anchor. Poland's Catholic identity is centuries old. The nation embraced Christianity in 966 AD, and since then, Catholicism has been central to its culture. Unlike Western Europe, where secularism grew stronger in recent decades, Poland remained deeply religious. Churches are not just places of worship. They are community centers, cultural hubs, and symbols of resilience. During communist rule, the Catholic Church became a refuge of resistance, protecting Polish identity against Soviet influence. This legacy continues today, making Catholicism more than faith. It is a cultural anchor, religion and national identity. For many Poles, being Catholic is synonymous with being Polish. National holidays like Christmas and Easter are celebrated not only as religious events, but as cultural traditions. The Church influences education, politics, and even public morality. Immigration, especially from Muslim countries, is often framed as a challenge to this identity. The idea of welcoming large numbers of Muslim immigrants is perceived by some as diluting Poland's Catholic character. Resistance is not only about religion, it is about protecting national identity. Perceived clash with Islam. Islam is often portrayed in Poland as fundamentally different from Catholic traditions. Media and political narratives emphasize cultural differences. Dress codes, dietary practices, prayer rituals. These differences are magnified into perceived incompatibilities. For example, debates about halal food or Islamic dress codes are framed as challenge to Polish norms. The clash is not necessarily about theology, but about lifestyle and culture. Catholicism emphasizes continuity, while Islam is portrayed as introducing change. This perceived clash fuels skepticism. The Church's influence on politics. The Catholic Church remains influential in Polish politics. Bishops and priests often speak out on social issues, including immigration. Sermons emphasize protecting Christian Europe, echoing historical narratives of defending against Ottoman invasions. Politicians align with these messages, reinforcing resistance. The Church's moral authority ensures that its stance resonates with millions of Poles. Immigration becomes not just a political issue, but a moral one, framed as defending faith and family. Symbolism of Catholicism. Symbols matter. The cross, the rosary, the image of Pope John Paul II, these are not just religious icons, they are national symbols. John Paul II, a Polish pope, is revered as a national hero. His legacy reinforces Catholic pride. Immigration debates often invoke these symbols, portraying Poland as a defender of Christian Europe. Muslim immigration in this narrative is seen as a challenge to these symbols. Resistance is framed as protecting heritage. Modern impact. Today, Catholicism continues to shape public opinion. Surveys show that Poles trust the Church more than political institutions. Immigration debates are influenced by this trust. When the Church warns against cultural dilution, many Poles listen. Catholic schools, media outlets, and community organizations reinforce these messages. The result is a society where religion and national identity are intertwined, making resistance to Muslim immigration stronger. Chapter 3. Political narratives. Politics in Poland has been one of the strongest drivers of resistance to Muslim immigration. While history and religion set the foundation, political leaders amplify these concerns, turning them into national policy debates. Immigration is not just about economics or demographics in Poland. It is a political weapon, used to rally voters and define party identities. Rise of right-wing parties. In the past 2 decades, Poland's political landscape shifted sharply to the right. The Law and Justice Party, known as PiS, dominates the scene. PiS leaders consistently frame immigration as a threat to Polish sovereignty, culture, and security. Their rhetoric emphasizes protecting Poland from what they describe as the failures of Western Europe's multiculturalism. By positioning themselves as defenders of national identity, PiS strengthens its political base. Immigration becomes a symbol of independence, not just a policy issue. Immigration as a campaign issue. Election campaigns in Poland often highlight immigration. PiS leaders argue that accepting Muslim refugees would undermine national security and erode Catholic traditions. Posters, speeches, and televised debates frequently link immigration to crime, terrorism, or cultural loss. Even though Poland has very few Muslim immigrants, the issue is magnified to mobilize voters. Opposition parties sometimes take softer stances, but the dominant narrative remains skeptical. Immigration is framed as a choice between protecting Poland or surrendering to EU pressure. Political rhetoric and fear. Political rhetoric amplifies fear. Leaders use strong language, portraying immigration as an existential threat. Terms like invasion or cultural destruction appear in speeches and media campaigns. This language resonates with voters who already feel protective of Poland's identity. Fear becomes a political tool, shaping public opinion and reinforcing resistance. Immigration debates are less about numbers and more about symbol,